So here we are, another meeting and
Hey,
another video.
we've stopped doing the numbers now because we've just lost count, haven't we?
Oh, forgot, totally
We're up
forgot.
to, I think it's
Um,
2025 now, so that's great, man.
it's
And
it's definitely in the mid 20s.
thanks for all the support and everything. Everybody seems to be enjoying these shows. I was at a convention last weekend, and quite a few people came up and said, "Oh, keep up the good work, enjoying the show and everything else." So that's it's not. Sometimes you sort of sitting doing these shows, and Graham, and you just think, "I wonder if anybody's watching this."
Yeah,
Um,
that is very true. It's very true. We do sit here like on my own. I mean, I'm in the studio at the minute on my own. Well, actually,
yeah,
Josh is over there, but like I am sitting here videoing it, and you forget what you've done, and then you don't. I don't know if anyone's watching. I think we've got 2 subscribers, haven't we?
yeah. I've got about three. You've got
What
five, I
and
think.
and what one of them is my wife, I think. So, and Sebastian is the other one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it feels a bit like that sometimes, doesn't it?
So
So,
tell us about you did a convention last week. How was that?
yeah,
What
so
was the convention?
Craig Petty, Lloyd Barnes do their Magic podcast. Um, and they put a convention on last weekend in sort of Rugeley, which is not far from where I live, where I have my own convention, not far from there.
Hmm.
And it was the first one. So it was Craig Lloyd and Pig Cake, and it was really good. They did a great job. They hired a brilliant venue, so they basically hired the whole theatre out for the weekend. Um,
Right.
so the theatre that got the lectures in, and I do. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll hold my hands up. I haven't watched their podcast, but I kind of get the feeling that it's a bit sort of no holds barred. There's a lot of swearing and
Yeah,
there's nothing off the
yeah,
table
yeah.
type of thing. And the convention, like when you walk through, there was a pull-up banner and it just said the Magic Podcast Convention. Buckle up, it's going to be shit. And that was the first thing you saw when you walked through the door, and it just set the tone for the whole weekend. It was just, they didn't take themselves too seriously, but it was run really well. They had a good selection of lecturers. So they had, I'm just off the top of my head, they had Ben Williams, Pete Turner, Mark Elston, Craig and Lloyd both did a lecture themselves, and Pig Cake. So I think that was all of them. And then they also did a thing which was a cool idea, I thought, was they had like they called it a mixtape. And then basically some of the guys who were attending the convention all got up and did a few, sort of 10, 15 minutes each. Now, unfortunately, because the dealer's room was separate from the theatre, I didn't actually get into any of the lectures, but I heard
Hmm.
some great things. Like it was really well received, and yeah, it was a good weekend, mate. Everybody enjoyed it, and the numbers were. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but it felt about the same size as like South Tyneside, which I'm not going to, and the CCC. Um,
You always
So
you like to bring that up. I think that's a running thing through all of these shows, isn't it? It's the South Tyneside thing. So South Tyneside is about 100.
yeah, so there may have been. The problem is because it's quite a big venue.
Yeah, spread out a bit.
And they had quite a lot of people there who were there just for Saturday only, and then there was some more people there for Sunday only. So it was difficult to get but it felt like around about that sort of number, I would say.
Yeah, with Magicbox, we did want to go, but I was on holiday, unfortunately, so I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
go. Which is
It
why
was,
I've got. If you're wondering what was going on with my face, it's because I'm quite tanned now.
yeah, yeah. It's your forehead's getting bigger as well.
Well, I mean, we won't go into that, but it's a
I
big
saw
area
that.
to tan.
Yeah,
It's like a solar panel, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I saw and just sad news this week. Obviously, Juan Tamariz passed away,
Yeah.
which was. I mean, he's 83 years old, so it's like it's still sad, isn't it? And he did a lot for Magic, didn't he? And memorized decks and and I saw some photos of you with him.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that? Can you remember? I never even got to meet.
Um, so it was when I performed at the IBM convention at Dublin in I think it was probably around 2014. I think it was
Oh, okay.
2014.
So 12 years
Um,
ago, then.
yeah, so he was on stage and I was backstage with him. I was his warm-up act. That's what I like to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
people.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
on first. It was back in the days when I used to do a dance and hank routine to music. So
Okay.
I did that act and then he came on afterwards and closed the show.
I can't imagine you
So
doing that somehow.
yeah, I used to do a lot of stuff to music when I was a bit younger. And I used to
Is
do a
that
lot of.
because is that because you didn't? So it's interesting. Is that because you didn't like talking to the audience, or was it like a bit of
No,
filler,
I think
or
it's just no.
something?
I've just always, ever since I was younger and watching Copperfield and Russ Stevens, I've always done stuff to music. I
Hmm.
don't so much now. I still do it a little bit, but I'm, more patter based things now. But back then, I did. All the kids back in the '90s and the 2000s wanted to be David Copperfield, and they wanted to do big, cool stuff to music. So I did Dance and
That's very
Hank
cool.
probably 20 years ago.
Which one did
But
you?
anyway,
The Laguna one.
yeah, the Baguna full set I used to do, and with some of their candles and cakes and stuff, candles and cakes, candles and canes, and some of the bits and pieces in there.
Are you
But
hungry?
yeah, back to Juan Tamarez. Here's
Yeah.
a funny little story I'll tell you about Juan Tamarez. So he was doing a lecture, and I was with him a little bit because we were on the gala show together. And we're in a lift, and we're chatting in the lift anyway. We gets down to the thing at the bottom floor. We goes into the dealer's hall, whatnot, and we're walking around. And that way I thought nothing else of it. He then goes to do his lecture. While he was doing his lecture, I watched a little bit of the lecture, but I knew I needed to do a little bit of tweaking on my act for the gala show that night. So while there was nobody in the dealer's hall, I ran up to my room to do a little bit of rehearsing. And as I was going up to my room, obviously I was loading my stuff in my pockets, and I found a playing card in my pocket, just a random playing card. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Why is there a random? But anyway, I took it out and put it back down. Um, Anyways, towards the end of his lecture, somebody knocked on my door and says, "Oh, someone's saying, oh, you're not watching the lecture." And I went, "Oh no, I'm doing a bit. Well, can you come down? He wants Juan wants you to see the end of his lecture." And I was like, a bit weird, but we'd
I
been
know where
chatting
this is
earlier on
going.
through the day, and I thought, oh, it is a bit disrespectful that I wasn't there. So I went running down. Last 15 minutes of lecture, I sort of slipped in and sort of watched the lecture. And of course, he forces a card, doesn't he? And then he goes in there, Graham from the Magicbox over there. I'm not going to do his accent. If you reach in your right jacket pocket, so I'm like, oh, and as soon as he said it, I knew, oh no, that's what that card was in my pocket. So I just had to go, and I'm like, look in my pocket, and the card's not there, and I had to just play dumb and as if like, and I'm looking in my pocket's not there, and he goes the other pocket, and I'm like, shit, what do I do here? And it wasn't there. So then he had to, I mean, like hats off to him. He then had a backup thing that he
Yeah, yeah.
did, but like, I totally effed that
Messed
up.
it up for him. That's funny, that.
Messed up the end of his lecture, and it was all my fault because I took the card out of my pocket when I was loading my candles
Well,
and stuff upstairs.
I mean, that's
And,
fun. I've told you the story of that time at Blackpool Magicians Club when Gary loaded all them coins. Have I told you this
oh
before?
yeah, you have, yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe he should have loaded about five or six six people up.
I
But yes,
felt really bad. Felt really
yeah, yeah.
bad.
But I mean, he's like he started a whole sort of
I was just about to say that.
trend of magic, really, hasn't he? You know, all the
I think the
like
whole
Daniel Ortiz and
I think the whole Spanish style of magic
yeah,
is him, isn't
yeah,
it? It's him, the whole Spanish style.
yeah.
We get a lot of people at South Tyneside Convention Spanish, with the one you're not coming to this year. Um,
Oh,
and
that one, yeah,
we get a lot of Spanish magicians, and I MC them on and off the stage, and I generally say that they have a certain style about them,
yeah.
and they were, and I think maybe they still are taking over the
It's just
card
so
world.
it's like really casual, as if the magic's happening and they're just there
Yeah, yeah.
watching it happen rather than skillfully making it happen. It's great.
Yeah, and he's
Um,
responsible for that, you know,
yes. Well, the
100%.
first time I saw him, I never met him in person. Was on. Do you remember he put an A1 set out a few years ago? Was it Lessons in Magic?
Yeah. Hmm.
And it was a three video set, and I was watching this, and I was like, what's going on? Who's this guy? And he was doing all that with with the violin and all that, and
Yeah.
like taking his hat off and covering his bald spot and everything. And I was, I was like, what the hell? And it's only later on that you realise that everything was like choreographed
Yeah, to
to
perfection.
perfection. Yeah.
Yeah. The
So,
first time I saw him was on Paul Daniels' show. It might have been Secrets actually back in the 90s.
mm,
That was the first time I'd ever heard of him, really, when I was younger. But you've been fortunate enough to meet him a few times at South Tyneside and other conventions and things like that. But yeah, what a style. I don't think anybody, I mean, there was points where he was doing stuff in the bar, me and Michael back in the day. At South Tyneside, where he was just sat in a corner and you'd have a group around him, and me and Michael were there, and he'd just absolutely blow everybody's
blow
socks
you
off,
away. Yeah.
just blow us away
And
with stuff.
Danny De Ortiz is taking over his mantle really because
Yeah,
that's what he
yeah,
does now, and he
yeah,
just fries
yeah.
everybody
But
with
yeah,
his
what a guy! And if I could raise a violin here
yeah, yeah.
to one,
And do the thing with your bald spot.
the bald spot. Yeah, I don't have a bald spot.
Not yet.
Not
Working
yet.
on
Come in, no. Um, So yeah, so good. Conventions, that's good. And do you also you wanted to talk about Guy
Yeah,
Hollingwood?
so on Monday at the Magic Circle, and I'm not going myself, and they've limited the numbers. They're basically for the first time that I can remember, they're ticketing this thing, and Guy Hollingworth is doing it. He's launching more drawing room deceptions, so he'll be at the Circle. I think he'll be selling the book for the first time. I think the guys from Vanishing Ink are going to be there who are publishing the book. And yeah, 27 years after Drawing Room Deceptions was published, he's finally got round to writing volume 2.
Wow, what a book!
That'll be exciting. I mean, I bought the first one back in '99 when it came out, and I think everything was a little bit out of my sort of reach back then, and I sort of sold it after a while
I think
because
it's out of a lot of people's reach, but
yeah, probably still is. To be fair, I
still
wouldn't
is.
mind going back and rereading it. I mean, the one trick that sort of made him really well known was the Reformation, the torn and
Yeah.
restored card, and it was like really mega difficult to do. But I remember there was like a burnt and restored card or something in the foreword at the start that was really clever and
Mhm.
stuff. But I don't remember much else about it other than that. But obviously he sort of disappeared from Magic for a long time. Selfishly becoming a barrister and earning loads of money, and the people are saying, "Why did you drop out of Magic?" I, I, I wonder, but yeah,
I
it'd
mean,
be interesting.
he's been a lawyer a long time. He was a lawyer before he was into magic, obviously. Then to his university days, he got into magic and stuff. So
Yeah,
he's always
yeah, yeah,
been into law, and he's always had that there. But I guess he had to drop it a little bit, the passion while he went to be a
absolutely.
barrister to go
It'd
to
be
that
really
next
interesting to
level.
see because everybody, if you think about your magic that you were creating 27 years ago or performing or whatever, everything changed. If I think about what I was doing, or even the thing I first released compared to what I'm sort of writing now, everything
Hmm.
it changes massively. So it'd be interesting to see how much his magic has evolved and changed over that
Yeah, I would
almost
agree.
3 decades, really.
Yeah,
So that'll be good. So he's going to be there. I
that's
think
good.
the capacity at the Circle is something like I think it's 175. So it's going to be, and in that building, that's going to feel really, really busy. So it should be a great night. To be fair for everybody who's going along. So it'll be interesting to see the pictures and hear the stories. Look forward to that.
Yeah, it sounds good. And I look forward to seeing that book at some point in the future. Maybe it's on the Magic Box
You'll
shelves
be
at some
getting them in,
point.
won't you?
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
we will definitely as soon as it's released.
65 quid, I think, which these
Right.
days is a good price, I think, especially for
Yeah.
something that's
Yeah, like you
it's
say, I don't think it's a book for everyone, but it'll be interesting to know. Like, you don't know, you might be surprised. There might be a couple of things in there which are, semi self working, something basic worker stuff. Because he did like some of the stuff in there was workable, wasn't it?
yeah.
Like, I mean, not easy to do stuff, but was workable for
Mm.
a worker or a pro at least. But whether it's a book that's aimed at amateurs and hobbyists, maybe not so much. But there might be, I always remember like seeing books by certain people, and they have some basic things in there as well as the more complex stuff.
Yeah,
Michael Lamar for one, he has a couple of complex things, but there's some
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
is a lot easier to do.
Yeah, and Jay Sankey's books, for example, some of his earlier stuff, especially, there was some real thumb busters in there, especially with coins and that. But then all of a sudden you come across something where it's just super commercial. You've just got to force a card and then do something else, and it's
Yeah,
like brilliant. Some of Jay's earlier work for me, I thought it was fabulous. In fact, his book Unleashed, I don't know if you stopped that at Magicbox, but what a
yeah,
great book that is. Some fabulous stuff in there.
yeah. Um, there is. So good. So
There
any
you
other
go.
news?
Busy week this week. We almost sound like we know what we're talking about now, don't we? After
Yeah,
20
it is. It
episodes or
has
whatever.
been a busy week. One thing that we'll talk about, not right now, is but one of the things I have been asked about for a future thing. I've been busy this week with holiday parks, so I've done a few havens. I've done some park deans, and somebody did ask me about how to get into doing those and what type of why that differs from doing kid shows and stuff. But we'll talk about that another time, maybe in the over to you bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been busy this week with those and some other bits. So, with that being said, it is now old school. Is that right? I still,
We're off
you
to
know
the
what,
old,
we're
off
doing
to the
this.
old school.
This is like 25 times as we said or something. I still don't know what the bloody order is. So let's go over to old school. Here we are over to old school, and this week it is a very, very old school trick, isn't it, Chris?
It is, yeah. It's been for like 30 odd years, probably.
Yeah. So this is a very old trick. I'm going to show you the trick. This is it here. It's called Every Inch a Lady. And I'll show you a quick performance, which is me performing it. We'll cut to that now. So here we are, here at Magicbox, and come down here, Josh. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but do you know that Magicbox now has its own dating agency?
No.
Do you know? Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, this is good for you. So, listen, these are some of the dates, and these are some of the women that have applied for the dating service. So this is Anna. You can see she's quite nice. We've got Deborah. Forgot her name there for a second. We've got Beth. We've got Hannah, who's quite nice, and we've also got Doris, because obviously we'll have to cater for everybody, right? So this is Doris. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to choose a date. I'm going to choose a date for me, Josh, and then a date for you. Okay. It's very easy to do. This is what you do. You just put one under. You go, she loves me, she loves me not. Make sense? Mm-hmm. She loves me, she loves me not. 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 And I end up with Hannah, which is cool. So that's who I would end up going on a date with. All right. So we're going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to do this for you because you're obviously holding the camera, and I'm just going to mix these up a little bit like this. So normally you'd give these to the spectator, and the spectator would hold them, and they'd do exactly the same thing. They would go, she loves me, she loves me not. 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 All right. Now, before we actually turn over the one that you're going to end up going with, we're going to see the ones that you turned down. So, unfortunately, you didn't get Beth, which is a shame. You didn't get Hannah. You didn't get Deborah. You didn't get Anna, and you didn't get Doris either. Well, hang on. Then which one did you get, Josh? Oh, you got this one. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So enjoy your date. So there we go. That's a quick performance of it, and it gives you an idea of what it is. Now, I'm going to be honest here. This is not going to be to everyone's taste. But if somebody had asked me, right, like yesterday, somebody showed me this trick and said, "Who do you think that's by?" Who do you think I would say?
Wayne Dobson.
Wayne Dobson or Chris Congreve?
Nah, mate. I honestly wouldn't do that.
No.
I wouldn't do that at all. It's weird because there's certain I think there's certain things that you can get away with, right?
Yeah.
And like a cartoon picture of a knob, for example, you can get away with, or a bit of swearing, or a double entendre and stuff. Honestly, and this is, people are going to be probably shocked by this. I would not perform that now. I think audiences have moved on, and I think that somebody. Well, I know that somebody in an audience of younger people would be horribly offended by that.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I think just by dropping an F-bomb or something, I don't think you're going to offend people by that. They might tut a little bit or whatever. But I don't know. I think nowadays, I do not think you could perform that. Maybe down the pub for your mates or whatever, but certainly not at a gig.
No, I would never perform it at a gig, obviously, ever. I have performed it once, though, in the real world when I was on a stag do. I think I did it on a stag do, and it's that sort of trick that you would maybe do on a stag do or down the pub for mates who you know. I would never do it. I don't think I would ever do this for anybody who I don't know, unless it was in the shop. I have demmed it in the shop. I wouldn't say recently. But it's one of those tricks. I don't know. There will be somebody out there who go, "Oh, that's a funny thing. That's something that would work in the pub, like my mate."
For people that you know, I think it's got a place, and you could stick it in your wallet and all the rest of it. But as far as like something I'd create, definitely not. No. It's just, I think things have moved on to the certain. Well, sorry, I'm gonna have to let my cat out.
So to go back in time, there was this. I first saw this. I believe this was owned the rights by Tony Curtis. I believe.
Tony Curtis. I remember his name being on it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a Tony Curtis effect originally. Then I think he sold the rights to, I can't remember, maybe Elmwood or something. But there's a few versions.
It got ripped off as well. It got ripped off as well, didn't it? There was a version knocking around with like plastic around it and stuff like that that had clearly been nicked. And then I think I had a version of it when it 8 years ago, and they were all topless as well. I think Maria Whittaker was in there, and like Page 3 Girls and stuff. So
Yeah,
people,
there's been a few versions. There was also a women's version called, I'm sure it was called A Night Out with the Girls.
were
Um,
you weren't you one of the bottles on there?
I think I was, yeah, and it had basically like just really hunky men on there, and then they ended up with like an ugly one.
Yeah,
Which
that was you,
did you?
wasn't it?
Oh, well, you beat us to what I was going to say there about you. I was going to say like an older guy with glasses on and grey hair was the ugly one at the end. Um,
uh,
and believe it or not, here's something that you don't hear every day. If you don't like this version, believe it or not, Magicbox has their own version with animals. And do you know whose idea that was?
uh,
Who produced
yours.
that? Mine and Michael Murray.
Ah,
So
there
now,
you
if you
go.
can think of all the type of tricks that Michael Murray does now, a night out with the girls, every inch a lady type effect, but with animals, wouldn't be one of the first things you would think of that you invented, would you?
No, how does that work then?
So you show lots of cute animals, and you show like a really ugly dog,
Right.
and then it's the same effect. So they think they're going to get one of the nice, cute animals. You show like a cute hamster, a kitten, blah blah blah. You say it's an imaginary pet shop type thing,
Mm,
and we're going to choose a pet, and you do the same sort of thing. Um, I can't. You don't say loves me not. You basically you go one under, one down, one under, and the one
yeah.
they think they're going to get, which is an ugly dog, is an even uglier animal.
Right. Okay.
So it's like got that surprise kicker ending as well. But you can do it on,
Okay.
you can do it for kids, or families. So it's like I don't know, obviously a non-offensive version of the trick. And yeah, it was me and Michael put that out probably 20, maybe even longer years ago. It's called Pet Store Profile.
I think
Still
you've both.
available.
I think you've come a long way since then.
Still available at Magicbox. But it's not an item that we sell many of, to be honest. I mean, we don't sell many of these, to be honest, every inch
Nah.
lady. But like you said, I think there's a time and a place for it. We do sell it. I think it's 9.99 or something like that. The cards are like laminated, so they would go like stick in your wallet or whatever, and so yeah,
So,
it's a pub trick, it's a pub
so when
trick.
a woman throws a beer over you, that you can wipe and dry it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say about it. There is a time and a place for it. It's not something I would perform, publicly, but I have demonstrated the shop. And actually, a lot of the times I demonstrate in the shop, it does sell. But obviously, I know the type of person that would buy that type of trick. I wouldn't
Mm.
show it to somebody who I wouldn't think would, it would be their cup of tea. But there you go. So that's the old school trick for this week. Shall we
Okay,
move on?
we will. So now it's over to you.
Over to you.
You.
So here we are. It's over to you. And what have we got this week, Chris?
So there's a couple of things on the YouTube channel. Someone mentioned not last week, the week before we did diminishing returns. Yeah, you
Yep.
performed it, and someone mentioned that the cards were off coloured,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
compared to bicycle cards and stuff. and I replied to the person saying it's an interesting point. How much do spectators notice these little things like that? Like an imperfection in a playing card and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Go on then.
I thought it was an interesting sort of conversation to have. Really, do we as magicians not give lay people enough credit for noticing stuff like that, or not
Okay.
really?
So my simple answer to this is we give them way too much credit, probably. There is times where, yeah, you have to pull it back a little bit. But I've got a really good example of this, to be honest. Well, I've got a few examples which we've discussed before, I think, on previous ones. Last week, I think it was, where we had Joelle on, and we talked about the mystery box.
Yeah.
And the mystery box being a completely different back design in the box to the one that you've got in your hand. And I've
Yes.
done that multiple times. Nobody's ever noticed. Another thing which I'll bring up.
Do you think that? Can I just pause for a second?
Yeah.
Do you think somebody's noticed, but they're just too polite not to say anything?
No.
Or are they just haven't noticed?
No. Never in a million years. Never in a million years. Another thing
You wouldn't do it all the time now, would you?
No. I think I did it once, but I
that's
didn't
an
have the right.
accident.
I didn't have a right pack of cards with us or something like that. So I think it was mandolin or something I had because I didn't have any red bikes on us. So it was like a red bicycle card to a mandolin back.
I mean, that's not a big difference, is it, really, to a layperson? I mean, do they? do they notice that a card is a card is a card, and it's to a normal person, it's just us who
No,
accept.
not at all. But
But if it's
like,
like just from blue to red, like I think I mentioned when I was talking about my lighter last week, I got away with it once, but I wouldn't, you know,
no,
wouldn't.
obviously you wouldn't. You want to try and make it look as the same as possible. Newspaper tear. Here's another one. I've performed the newspaper tear with a different newspaper
What? So you've
because
gone from the sun to the mirror.
it was the same newspaper, but it was a different thing on the front. But I took the front cover off and I just used an inside cover and found a page that looked similar to the other one. It wasn't exactly the same. Well, it was nowhere near the same, but it was as close as I could find. Basically, when I do newspaper, I obviously need duplicate newspaper, and I have hundreds of them here at the shop. But I was doing a job and I forgot to bring one, a duplicate, so I had to go at the shop and buy a newspaper. And I've done this a couple of times when I forgot a newspaper. Rather than how lazy am I? Well, not lazy. How lazy am I to just take that routine out of the show? I was like, and I've just literally gone and bought another newspaper, found a similar page, put them together, done it, and no one's ever noticed, ever.
No.
Again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it every time because you want the newspaper to be the same when you produce it in the
Yeah,
end.
I
But
mean that's on a stage in it where people ain't gonna notice too much and stuff like that. But
right, here's another
um,
example for you then.
go on.
Melt,
Yes,
trick melt, which we've talked about before, because we have that new thing coming out. The black card looks slightly different to the red card on the other side. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about a trick called melt, and you have a, a black card in one side of the wallet and a red card in the other side of the wallet. You show them like this. So imagine a red card and a thing card, and um, this has happened to me once in the shop before. I've showed the cards, done the trick, blown the spectator away, not the spectator, the person buying the trick. Then I explain to them how it's done. And after I've explained to them how they're done, they go, oh, actually, that doesn't look very good. It looks obvious that that's not really a card on the other side, the seven of clubs. And
yeah,
I always have the same thing. I says, oh, did you see that when I did it on you? No. There's your answer. There's your answer. It's because you now know the trick, and now you know what you're looking for. Now you're looking at it and going, oh, that looks a little bit sort of faded compared to the red one. But never in a million years would you have noticed at the start of the trick when I showed you it. Yeah, right, fair enough.
I think I think what it comes down to really is you've just got to credit spectators with having some, you know, observational skills. But yeah,
yeah.
and the thing is, you should be there, you know, entertaining them and having, you know, not just showing them a trick. I know that's when you're doing magic as a hobby, that comes later, doesn't it? You know, the magic comes first, and then the entertainment comes later, I guess. And then, you know, you sort of, because we've done it for so long, you forget what that's like when you first start. You know, you're sort of concentrating so hard on the actual trick and getting the trick right that you know. And I've seen it myself where people are like just performing it, not performing it, presenting it as like dry and you know, just as a puzzle almost.
Yeah.
It comes much later, doesn't it, when you add in the jokes and the lines, or not even jokes, the story or the presentation or whatever. So yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is you can take all of that away by how you present the trick as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a time and a place. Tom, but here's an example of where I would say spectators do notice things. So I went to see Tom Bolton's show, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this, to be honest. He doesn't probably even watch this, to be honest. I went to see Tom Bolton's show at the Fringe, at the Durham Fringe, and one of the things I thought was too obvious was him stealing and ditching a thumper in his show for various different tricks that he was doing. And if you don't know what a thumper is, I mean, it's a small electronic device which vibrates and tells you different things that you need to know for, might be color match or in what hand, for instance, various different things like that. And there was a couple of times in his show where it was obvious he was taking something out his pocket and hiding it. Now, in a close-up situation, it's a lot easier to get away with that because you're moving, our style is similar. We're moving around a bit, and you can do that. On stage, it's more difficult. And I don't think he'll mind me saying that because he did change that throughout the show, and he now had the thumper hidden in a certain place. So that, for instance, in his box, when he goes to remove something or put something away, that's when he steals it. So it's not as obvious. But for instance, he was on stage and he was literally turning away from the audience, blatantly taking something.
Yeah.
That for me is slightly different from what we're talking about before, but I do give the audience credit for that because I think they can see he's taking something out of his pocket. So
It's
there
different when
is,
you're on stage, isn't it? Because you're the focal point of the whole show. You are
yeah,
the
but there is times where, somebody would say, oh, nobody will ever notice that. Me taking that out and stealing that and putting that away, but it was, and that is a point where I think I would give the audience credit for that. So I don't know, it's something I think most of the time we give them too much credit, but there is sometimes where you could walk away from it, a trick that you think's gone down well, and then they start talking about the trick, and it's quite interesting to hear what they say
yeah.
at that point, because then you think it's a great trick, you walk away, and all of a sudden they're going, "Oh, he must have done this, he must have done that." Or actually, if we think back, he did do that, didn't he? He did do this, and he did do that. That's how it must be done.
It's quite an eye opener sometimes, isn't it? Just sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
hanging around a little bit and listening to them after
yeah,
you've left, or if
yeah,
you're doing a stage show, sit in the toilet and listen to them when they're
yeah.
going.
I mean, one of the ones I think most people would talk about afterwards, and one of the reasons I don't do it as often as I used to is double cross. So
Mm,
we talked about this before. Double cross is an amazing trick, gets a fantastic reaction at that moment. But when you walk away and if you listen back to it, you do generally hear somebody saying, no, no, he must have touched you when he got your hands up earlier on. He touched you earlier
mm.
on. No, he didn't touch us. And no, no, he did. He did. And sometimes I'll even turn back and I see them actually literally like doing what I did.
Demonstrating it,
Yeah,
yeah. Mm.
demonstrating, going through the routine. Um, but again, I mean, we could talk about this all day. There is ways to get around that, which when I first started doing double cross, I did figure out a way how to get around that and blah, blah, blah. But it's still an issue and still can be an
Mm.
issue, but we could talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I hadn't even thought about that one, to be honest. I used to do it, but it let me down the one day. It had all dried out and everything, and I felt all right knobhead. So I just stamped it, done the cross, went like
It's
that,
not,
and I turned back over, and there's nothing there. Shit. And I've never done it since, really. Which is on me. I should have just refreshed it and carried on because it did used to get great reactions. To be fair,
yeah,
so actually, while we're here, before we move on, I did bring this up and show this. But we're hoping to get this out before Halloween. So we showed the
yeah.
trailer a few weeks ago, but this is actually what it looks like. For those guys who remember Melt.
Melt, we
Uh,
just talked about.
so this is the gimmick, and then the card goes there, so they can see the spider. So basically, you load a spider onto the back of someone's hand, okay, and then you take the web out and you put it on the back on their hand, and then you take that out. Obviously, you don't do it like this. You would sort of show it and then turn it over like that, put it on there, and then when they turn their hand over, the spider's on the back. And I mean, I've been doing this for a while since we had the prototypes and the reactions. Well, you see the reactions on the trailer; they're just fantastic. So
Yeah.
we're going to get this out
And
for
you've got
happy
that, there is that little additional thing where the spider's on the back of the
on the
card
back of
as
this
well.
card. So you can do
Yeah.
it as like a 2 beat routine rather than just one phase,
Yeah.
which works really well.
I mean, you
And
can't get a much more self-working trick, can you? Which gets fantastic
you have
reactions.
to. The first couple of times you do anything where you load something onto the back of the spectator's hand, it's
Yeah.
a bit of and it's not a move or anything like that, but you just have to do it, don't you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
just do it and don't worry about it. And the first once you've done it a couple of times, you'll realise that there's nothing. And the nice thing about the way this is sort of done is you can show that. And then you say, actually, hold the spider underneath here. And you say, actually, do me a favour, hold your hands up, right? And then just load it on, okay? And then just go straight into it. So it's all self-contained.
One of the other
But
things I thought about this the other day when I was talking to somebody about it, and this is one of the things I come up with, is if you were doing this on kids, right? You just load the spider somewhere like in your pocket or on your back.
mm,
So that what you would do is you do that. This makes it even more self-working actually, because what you would do is you do the whole trick, but you'd have
preload
it
it.
preloaded on your back. So when you do it to the kid and you go, "Oh, the spider's disappeared. I don't know where it's gone." You turn around to look to see where the spider is. It's on your back. And
Mm.
obviously all the kids, "It's on your back. It's on your back," and then you get a fright yourself and brush it off or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
good
so
idea, actually. Yeah.
you could load the spider anywhere. I mean, I haven't really thought about where else you could have it on the back of your hand. So as you go, you turn your hand over and you're looking away, and it's on your hand. You know what I mean? So there is other options, really, when you think about it. You could load the spider elsewhere, couldn't you?
Have it
Um,
tattooed on your elbow.
yeah. I don't think that would be good for me. Like, I don't think I would suit tattoos. But
No, nor me.
anyway, Anyway, so there we go. So yeah, listen, please keep your questions coming in. We have got another question which we'll talk about next time, which is fees.
Fees, yeah. Any questions about fees? Now, we're not
We'll talk about it next time, but keep them questions coming in.
We're not going to discuss what we charge for gigs because, like, it's £27.50, and that's nobody else's business.
Yeah. That includes you doing the dishes, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they go on the buffet as well. But the people were asking about when they're first starting out, I think, about what to charge when you're first starting out and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that next week, definitely next week. So if you've got any additional questions to that regarding fees, then obviously send me a comment on the channel or whatever.
Yep, good. So with that being said, we'll move on to reviews.
We're going to go and do a couple of reviews now. Yeah,
yeah, we are. Reviews. So here we are, review number 1. And this week it is Christian Grace's Captivate. So should we play the trailer first?
Yes, let's look at the trailer, yeah.
So here's the trailer for Captivate, then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
There is something universally powerful in all magic, and that's the appearance of an object in an impossible way. There's no silly puzzles here, there's no awkward moves, just a moment that feels like real teleportation. I want you to imagine this. You have a card selected, remembered, or it can even be openly signed. And at fingertips, with a hat, you can allow that card to materialize in an impossible way. This is Captivate. Captivate has never felt like a typical card trick. Instead, it feels like a genuine moment of magic that happens to use playing cards. No more folded cards or weird-looking prop-like boxes. This is an up-to-date, modernized version of the card to impossible location plot. Each and every Captivate gimmick is precision-made by hand by Wang Jur himself, built to the highest possible standard. The result is a gimmick that's reliable, deceptive, and remarkably easy to use. In fact, if you can shake a cap gently from side to side, then you can perform Captivate. You see, you don't even need to be someone who wears hats to perform Captivate, because most of the time I borrow a hat and make a card appear. You see, right now I'm holding the Captivate gimmick, and by simply borrowing a cap and commenting on the brand, I've now loaded that gimmick inside the cap, ready to perform again at a moment's notice. In 3, 2, 1. There you have it. Another card appears. An impossible moment that they will never forget. I designed Captivate to be performed live, so this is the perfect trick that plays not only for close-up magic performances, but also plays big for stage and parlor, not to mention how effective it is on social media. We have 2 types of Captivate gimmicks available. There's the backer gimmick and the facer gimmick. With a backer gimmick, you can have a card signed and produce it in a cap, and with a facer gimmick, you simply force a card and have it appear. This gimmick is so fun and versatile to play with that you're only limited by your imagination. Once you perform Captivate, let's face it, your audience will never look at a hat in the same way again.
I spent all of yesterday looking for the world's best magic trick, okay? I searched far and wide.
Yeah?
And do you know he's won? Me? Yes. No. You have the best magic trick at this convention, my friend. I'm being deadly serious. That's for you.
That is unbelievable. I've never ever won an award in magic, ever.
Well, that's your first.
Thank you so much.
For the card in hat, unbelievable.
Captivate.
Captivate.
Thank you so much. I did not expect this. This is unbelievable.
So there we go. There's the trailer, Captivate, Christian Grace. And this is another one that I first saw at Blackpool this year.
I never saw it. Well, you've because you've got like all your staff working for you, you can wander around and check all the latest stuff out. And I'm pinned to my stand all weekend, so I never get to go around and see all the latest stuff. I heard about it afterwards, and when I saw it, it's just like as with all of Christian's magic, it's just such a fooler. I mean, he's such a great magician, and Christian Grace. He comes up with some wonderful ideas.
Yeah, so this when I saw it, didn't know how it worked, to be honest.
Nah.
And then when I saw the method when we got them in, I was like, obviously that's how it's done. Like, obvious. Like,
why didn't I think of that? Because
well, it's been done before. There was a trick, and I think it's by the same person actually, which is the box where the card appears in a box. So it's like a long, clear plastic box, which you show empty, and as you shake it, a card visibly appears inside. And actually, that uses the same gimmick. And I believe that the person who invented that, I think he talks about this in the tutorial. Christian talks about it. He saw that trick, liked it, but thought, how can I? That's not really something I would perform. And then he took that concept and made it with the, with his hat. But it's a great trick. Would I use it? Maybe not, because I don't wear a hat. But he does make a thing of saying, look, if you don't wear a hat, there's basically, you can use a hat, you can borrow someone's hat. There is other ways to perform it. You don't necessarily have to be the sort of person who wears a hat all the time.
How could you borrow a hat though? Because part of the gimmick is it's like magnets and stuff holding the thing. I'm not sure.
You just talk about there is an easier way to load it into the hat, load it into their hat.
Borrowed hat.
Borrowed hat, but you are looking for a certain type of hat as well.
So here's the thing, right? We think about these things as working magicians. That's just you can't help do that because that's what we are. We do gigs and all the rest of it. If you're a young guy who wears a baseball cap all the time, wears a cap or a hat all the time, this is brilliant. You're going to absolutely blow people away with this. You've got people like Phil Pearson down in Brighton who sells himself as a street magician, always wearing a baseball cap. I imagine he'll be killing people with this. You know what I mean? It's just such a strong thing. Let's face it. You take your cap off, you show that it's empty, and you boom, and a full size card appears out of nowhere. It don't get much stronger than that, does it? Really?
Yeah, it's like I say, very, very strong. A total fooler for me when I saw it. But again, like, it's one of those methods that once you see the method, you go, of course, that's how it's done. There's no other way you could really perform that trick. See, there you go. It's perfect for you.
I'm gonna start wearing this to my gigs, I think. I do wear a hat occasionally. No, I think it's great. I think it's really good. But like, that is the only reason I wouldn't buy it, as you've just said, is because I just don't wear a hat where I'm going to perform magic. Other than that, I think it's really good.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't have one to put on now, but I don't suit hats at all. I've just got the wrong shaped face. I've got a very long face, right?
Oh yeah.
Like a really long, if you know what I mean, ovally faced, like an olive. So,
olive.
Well, you know what I mean. So when I wear any sort, obviously I used to work back in the day when we had the fancy dress as well as the magic shop.
Yeah,
I went to every single type of hat, and all the staff members would agree with us that there's no hat that suits me.
So it's true though. Some people have got a head for hats in there, and others haven't.
Yeah, I just don't look right in a hat. I was just come back off holiday, and I even tried some baseball hats on because I need to try and protect my big head from the sun. And I just looked like a total. I look like some special kid who's just gone to Disneyland. Like,
you know what? What would suit you? And a Cobra, like an Australian hat.
Mate, I've probably tried, and the one with the corks in that one.
No, I think got the corks. Got one. I bought one when I was in Australia last year. I bought one and came back with it. It's great.
Right, when you come up, bring it up and let me try it on, and you'll see how stupid I look.
Okay, all right.
I just don't suit hats. So that's why, for me, this is not a trick that I would physically, do or perform. So people know, it does come in two different versions. There is a face down version, so you can do it signed, and then there's obviously a face up version where you obviously have to force the card.
I think for this type of effect, I don't think a signed card matters particularly, because the strength of this trick is when that card appears. And I do a trick in my lecture. I think you've seen it. The one where the card appears out of the small tin.
Yeah.
And I've tried doing it with a signed card, and I don't think it makes a jot of
It
difference.
doesn't. It doesn't enhance the effect.
I don't think it does now, and I think this is the same. I think the fact that the card appears when it wasn't there before is the strength of this effect. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you can show the cap like this.
Yeah.
Right, genuinely like that, can't you? You would have seen it just in the trailer, but you like that, and then that card just appears. But a full-size card, it's just impossible. And I think then having to put it back on the deck and turn it over to show that it's the sign card, I just think it's it's almost anticlimactic, really.
Yeah, I mean,
card appearing face up.
One of the things that I will say is the gimmick's very well made.
Yes.
How long will it last? I'll be honest, I don't know. I can't really answer that yet. I think if you look after that gimmick, it'll last you years, certainly. The switch his switch is very, very good. Like, I didn't see it. Blackpool didn't see the switch at all, which is what fooled a lot of magicians, I think. But the switch is actually quite simple.
He's got such a disarming way about him. Like with his switch one. Was it switch one? The one where the pack level one.
Level one.
Thing at the end of there where he sort of steals the gimmick out there. Beautiful.
But his, like you say, his laid back style is very good, and it works really well for this type of effect.
Yeah.
But his switch as he takes the card out is totally invisible. And that's a lot of the stuff he does fools most magicians. So if it fools most magicians, it's going to fry your audience.
Yes.
So there we go. It's not cheap, I'll be honest. It's around about £48, I think, off the top of my head.
Okay.
So it's not a cheap thing, but if you can see some place for it in what you do, if you already wear a hat or something, I think it's perfect for you. There's not really much better trick you can do by taking your hat off and doing a trick with your hat.
I agree. Absolutely, yeah.
There we go. Do I like it? Yes. Would I buy it? Probably not. Would I perform it? Probably not for me, but I think it's good.
Because you've got a funny shaped head. That's the best tagline to a review I've ever heard. I won't perform it because my head's the wrong shape.
I wouldn't perform it because I've got a head like an olive.
An olive.
But other than that, I like the trick.
Yeah, fabulous. Yeah, and I would perform it, but casually, not at gigs, because I wouldn't wear a baseball cap to a gig. But casually, to have whilst I was out and about wearing a hat, I would use it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good. Let's move on to review number 2. So review number 2 is, and this is called Conceal.
Yes.
It's a re-release by Penguin. As you know, they bought all the more. Man, why does my camera keep doing that?
I don't know. It's you. Keep moving.
Refocus there. Let it refocus. So it's Conceal. Before we go any, I'm going to straight out the box. Yeah, I love this. I think it's really good. Really good. I like a lot of Mark Mason stuff because it's workable stuff. It's visual. It ticks a lot of boxes. It's gadgety. And it's fairly easy to do as well. So it ticks lots of boxes for magicians. The gimmick is very well made. I've got the gimmick here in my hands. It's a very well made gimmick. It's not a cardboard box. It is like a plastic box. So it's not just a normal cardboard box. It's been gimmicked. This is a box that's actually been made properly. It's plastic.
So it comes flat, and you have to just glue the box together.
Exactly. It comes flat. Yeah, like this. There's one downfall with it, which I will say is it's only in blue.
Okay.
Don't know why. Maybe it's because the sticker looks better or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, maybe the gimmick isn't as well camouflaged in red, perhaps. But it's not a big deal, is it really? But there's that moment, that visual moment where the seal vanishes. It's beautiful, isn't it? You just it's such a nice moment, really. I know. Yeah. When I watched that, I thought it caught me. I'm like, I'm thinking like elastic thread or things like this, and then when you see how the gimmick works, it's a lot better than I. I mean, that's a good point for you to make there. It's not elastic. So there's nothing to break elastic wise on it. So it should last you, a good few years. I think I can't see why it would break because there's nothing really to break on it.
I mean, it could break eventually, but it's well made. I think it'll certainly last
Yeah.
you a few years.
I'm loving his performance. So he says you could have selected any card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, well, we'll hold it. It is a force.
Yeah.
No matter which there is two versions to this trick, by the way. There is the version where the card's signed, and then there is a version where the card's not signed. If you're going to do this, the signed version, you would have to obtain some stickers, some deck seal stickers. You do get some with it, but you only get, I think, three or four deck stickers with it. Because the basic routine that it comes with, you only need to use one sticker and you reuse that all the time.
I think going back to what we were just talking about with the hat, with Captivate, I think this is one of those routines where a sign card doesn't really add that much to the effect, personally.
Yeah, I would
think
agree.
the strength of the moment of that routine is first of all when that on the box visibly disappears. That is the strongest moment of that trick. And then when you sort of spread through the deck and there's a seal in the middle, and you turn it over, I honestly can't see how that card being signed or not would make a jot of difference to spectator, personally.
Interesting. I mean, if you are going to do it signed, there's a little bit more work you need to do. Obviously, it's still a forced card, but you can show the front and the back of the card. So you show the back of the card, they sign the front, then the card goes in, the thing vanishes, they spread through, and the card's now got the sticker on. There's a little bit more work, a little bit DIY to do that version, but it is an option that they teach on the video.
And it's great to have those options. I love the fact that they add all those options in, and we try to do that ourselves with our releases as well, don't we? Handlings and blah blah blah. Like I say, personally, I'm not sure it adds that much to the effect, which is great because the way of doing it without the sign card is a lot easier to perform.
Yeah, I did think about this yesterday though. I did think that you could actually do this with red cards because it doesn't really matter. Obviously, you're going to use the blue box gimmick, but I would just open the blue box and go, "Oh, there's red cards in here. There shouldn't be red cards in here." I tell you what, let's do a quick card, and then you do a trick with it. You know what I mean?
There's loads of stuff you could do. You could do
because now you can still vanish the seal, and the seal can end up on a red card in the red pack. Doesn't really matter. Do you see what I mean? If
you could do a red hot mama type moment, couldn't you? Where you could force the card, and then when they spread through, there's a red card with a seal on, and it's their card. You know what I mean? There's loads of stuff.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Adding an extra moment of magic, really. But the bog for me, the bog standard routine that he performs in the trailer, I think he's absolutely fine. But that moment, well, honestly, when I watch the video of that, and I'll see it, and he just goes like that, and I'm like, where the hell's that gone? You know, and then he shows the box all the way around, and I'm like, nah, completely. Yeah, I mean, you spectators, they're just going to be blown away by that. But it's so strong. So it's a really strong moment, and that's a genius idea by Mark. Using just like using that as part of a magic effect. What a great idea!
Yeah, it's very, very different. I'm probably going to perform this, but probably do it the way that I mentioned with the red deck inside, and just as you take the cards out, go, oh, they're red cards for some reason, and then just do it like that. I love this. I think I did when it originally came out, but I think it's even better now. I don't really know what else to say about it. 100% from me. Like, I think it's brilliant. Very, very good. Very well made. All you need to be
I'll be picking one up and using it. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
All you need to be able to do is force a card. Mark does teach a couple of forces on there, but I'm sure most people watching this will know how to force a card. You can use any force that you want, really. He does teach a couple on there. But like I say, any force.
He does like in the video. He does like a timing force, which is worth anybody's time. Because it's a great force anyway.
He teaches a timing force. I think he teaches a Hindu force as well on the video. So he
my
shows
favourite. And I was showing this to some guys at the convention last weekend, and they were like, and it fooled them. And it's the Bluff Force by John Bannon. I love that. I think that's a great force.
He love to show us that. I think I do know that. That.
And it'll be perfect for this because you're forcing the card that's on the bottom of the deck, and then when you've finished, you're centralising that card into the middle of the deck, ready for the reveal at the end of the routine. So it's perfect for this. Yeah,
good. I think he also teaches slip cut force, if I'm not mistaken, on there as well at some point. So actually teaching you 3 forces on there. It's not. I'm going to say it's not cheap, but I think it's probably average price. It's
Right.
£35, I think.
I think that's fine for what it is.
I think for the gimmick it's going to be one of those things you get. You won't be disappointed with the gimmick, if that makes sense. You would get the gimmick and go, "Oh yeah, that's cool." You know what I mean? It's a cool little toy. It's a cool little gimmick to play with and to
Yeah.
do for yourself in the mirror and trick yourself. You know, it does look good. It's a visual thing to play with. So yeah, I really like it. I will be using it. I will. I've already bought one. I just haven't used it working yet, but I will.
Yeah, sound. Yeah, I think I'll be buying one as well. It's great.
So yeah, high recommendation. Well done, Penguin. And there's going to be some great stuff coming out from Penguin over the next few months. All sort of marks old releases. In fact, here's a brand new thing. It'll be on our site probably already by now. Club Sandwich has just been re-released today.
What a belter!
So
We've
we're
done that
filming
on
this.
Old School. We did it on
Yeah,
Old School. Right at the
we
start.
did. We're filming this today. This is a Friday. It's just been released by Penguin today. I've already ordered them. They should be here Monday. So we'll have them in stock by the time this video goes out, probably. And that's Club Sandwich. That's another one they've re-released, which, as you said, we did in Old School. You like that trick, don't you?
I love it. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's
So,
such a great effect, and it's just easy, simple to do,
yeah.
easy to follow. Ticks all the boxes for me.
So there'll be a few more reviews from us, probably on the new Mark Mason and Penguin stuff coming up in the very near future. So there we go.
There we go. Well, that's it then, isn't it?
That's it.
Show.
That's another show. That's another show wrapped up, as they say, in the game.
Bag. Yeah. I'll be coming. Well, we'll be in the studio together again soon. Hopefully, getting some doing some more stuff. Maybe some more guests.
Yeah.
If anybody would like to come on the show.
We do. We have some. Well, we've already got a couple of guests lined up who've already said they're going to come on. So we need to get that arranged. I haven't told you that, but I'll tell you that off when we finish who the guests are. Okay. And I'm looking forward to that. But if you haven't already subscribe to the Magicbox channel, subscribe to Chris's channel as well. And again, both. Any questions, any comments? We do read all the comments as well. So if you've got a question or something you want to point out or anything like that, please let us know, and we'll look into it.
Yeah, and that being said, have a great week, everyone. Keep the questions coming as well, and we'll see you next week.
See you later. All out.